once again, I went to Download Festival, but only for a
How
day.
was it? How was it? How was it? Tell me more. Tell me more now.
Calm down. It was no, it was good. It I went on the Saturday and it was I every band I saw was really good. My favorite band was Those Damn Crows, and it was just a really good packed day. Worst bit was getting out the car park, but that's just what it is.
I was gonna say I saw pictures on the Facebook page, and it's just like they've completely just stacked all the cars. So as long as you're on the outer ring, you can get out. But if you're in the center ring, you're stuck.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
That
I don't
was
know which
bad.
car park that was, but I was completely fine. No, I had no problems getting it into the car park. I got from my house to park. It took me. Well, I did have a stop off, so it took me half an hour, but it could have taken me like 20 minutes.
Just to get out of a car park, that's crazy.
What? No, that was just to get to the car park.
Oh, okay. That's
So it
sorry.
took me 20 minutes from my house to the car park. But to get
Oh, that's
out,
not too bad.
but to get out of the car park, oh boy, it took me. I got into my car at 11:30, and I was home by 1:30.
Was it just that many people just staying the day or something?
Yeah, that many people who went for the day, and my car overheated, and I had to wait for 20 minutes for it to cool down. That was fun.
Jesus. Everything against you.
I was literally the last car out the car park.
That's bad. That's so bad. So who else did you see then? Like, did you say stay till the headliners or?
Oh yeah. So I saw. Let's see. I saw the Raven Age, Those Down
Oh,
Crows.
I would have loved to see the Raven Age.
They played my favourite song and it was absolutely brilliant. And then Those Down Crows started with my favourite song and I was like, oh yeah. And then they played stuff from their first album, which I didn't even realise they had a first album until this week. And it just sounded really good. Then, who else did I see? I saw Loathe, who literally the day before I just binged their whole discography. And the second album's been on repeat for like the last week or so. It's it was like a really, I mean, it was an album that I kind of didn't not like, but just disregarded a little bit, and now it's like
Mm.
in my top 10 albums of 2020.
Oh wow.
It's that good.
Oh wow.
It's not for everyone, but it's that good. Who else did I see? I saw a band called Grandson, who,
Never heard of him.
yeah, Callum showed me them.
Okay.
And then who else did I see? I saw Holding Absence, amazing. And then I saw, of course, one of the reasons why I paid all the money to go download Funeral for a Friend. And
Of
then
course.
headlines were Iron Maiden. They were really good. Although they did two encores, and that really messed me up because I left the arena, and then I heard Churchill's speech, and I was like, wait a minute, they've just played Run to the Hills. Why am I hearing Churchill's speech? They're doing a second encore, aren't they? So they came out and did Aces High, didn't they? And so I had to literally go to like the white tents and I was just watching Iron Maiden outside the arena play Aces High because I'd already left. I also saw Mastodon as well. So that was and Believe from Within. So that was all I saw.
Oh, part of me wishes I could have gone just because obviously, I'm always forever going to remember the year that all of us went together for the first time. That was such a fun year.
That still is my favourite year of download.
That
Like,
was honestly, I mean, that was 2018, wasn't it?
2018, yes.
And then obviously 2019, I won't forget that either, all the amount of babysitting we had to do.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
oh,
it was Brownload second coming.
oh God, the mud. Oh God, the mud on Brownload. Jesus. But obviously 2018, like I think we got off really well for the weather.
This
Obviously
year,
we had the 1 day for the rain, but I think was there any rain this weekend?
a little bit, but this year's been really good. This year's been one of the best years for weather.
Was you allowed on the village at all or not? Or is it just arena?
No, just arena.
I was going to say, because a load of people were moaning about the village, saying like there's no tents or anything.
No, it's all on like concrete, and there's like the doghouse stage is all in shipping containers.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
By the way, we should mention, if no one knows what Download Festival it is a rock and metal festival in Donington, in Castle Donington in the UK, and it's quite legendary.
Best festival in the world.
Quite legendary.
And it's fucking expensive.
Oh yeah, it is. But you know what? Next year, they literally announced it today. Today.
I saw.
Today. Of time of recording, that next year is 20th anniversary, and it's a 4-day festival.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think so. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm really tempted to go because I mean, still 265 quid for the week.
I've been told I have to go.
Is that by Callum?
No, that's not by Callum. That's my two of us. When I saw them on Saturday, they were like, "We're going to book Download off in January, and we're going to make sure all three of us go. Don't care about whatever else happens at work. We're going Download." I was like, "All right." I think it was nice to go this year, but I think I was like, it might be something I might do alternate years instead of every year.
Yeah, I've not been since 2019, so it would have been a good 4 years since I've been to Download. And I think for me, I absolutely missed that tent site, the campsite atmosphere, like getting in the queue. Right, so for anyone who doesn't know this festival atmosphere, so we probably turn up, 7 o'clock-ish in the morning.
6, 7, yeah.
6, 7 to queue. The gates don't open till like 11, but we're there for 4 hours queuing. Obviously, for the queue, we always bring the bare essentials on that first run. It's just the tents and a crate of beer each. That's all we bring for that first run. We're all in the queues. We're drinking the beer or ciders or whatever we're drinking. Usually, we go through the whole crate just in the queue to get in. We set up the tents and then we start, going forwards and backwards to get everything we need. But that first day of just get the tents up, having drinks, and then go out and enjoy the village. Wake up slightly hungover the next day. Continue all the drinking games. Go exploring the village, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, enjoying the music. And it was that. Those Wednesdays, Thursdays are always amazing. Just being at the campsite with your best mates in the world, playing drinking games, socializing. Oh, it's absolutely amazing, especially if you've got it in good weather. Absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Indeed. Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. I'm Dan, and with Brandon and Chris. This is episode 29, boys.
29. It didn't even seem that long ago. We did a 1 year special, and we're approaching the 30s.
I'm pushing my 40s,
mate. Spoilers for episode 30. I will be talking about One Piece in that episode. But of time of recording, I have one more chapter to wait until I can talk about it. But yeah.
Oh, I need to mention something very quickly before we really get into the meat of the show.
Please, go, Chris. Go.
We now have Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
we have a Twitter account.
We can now tweet.
Our handle, which I think is fantastic, is @victory_podcast. Short and snappy. It seems like a really good handle to get. It's like, @victory and podcast aren't taken. Shit.
And you didn't need to do any dodgy capitalizations and changing letters to numbers.
No, nothing like that. No, just @victory podcast. That's us. So go and give us a follow on Twitter. Go on. Even if you don't have Twitter, download it and add it.
All the cool kids that use Twitter these days, they're like Facebook's the old grandpa of the social medias.
All the boomers still using Bebo and MySpace.
I think MySpace still exists. I think so. I don't know.
I dare not, because I have a feeling if I go view MySpace, I'll start crying and writing raw on my wrists.
I literally just went on. It's like, it still exists. I'm on it right now. It still exists. Oh my gosh.
Isn't it more for just like pushing music now?
It looks like all music. I just went on it. It's just like instantly it's got Charlie XCX, and then it's got From New York, and then Dolly Parton, then oh god, Youngblood, and then it's got Yeahs, and then just music, literally just music.
It's funnily enough, some of my music friends are really lamenting like the kind of loss of MySpace to a degree, because they say like the social networks now just don't cater to the music as well as MySpace did back in the day.
I
It's
can
really
see
good to
that.
promote music on there.
I can see that.
But obviously no one uses MySpace anymore. Well, apparently some people do, but I think it's just the bands. Maybe bands following other bands, that's it. No regular people use it.
For some reason, I thought Bandcamp was what MySpace was called now. I don't know why.
Bandcamp.
No idea.
What did you say, Brandon?
I said, did you say Bandcamp?
Yeah, Bandcamp.
You did.
This one time at Bandcamp?
I knew you were going to say that.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't mishear it before I said it.
Anyway, what we were talking about.
Well, you guys had some crap to talk about before we move on to the bread and butter.
Well, do you want to talk about the non-games before the games?
Yeah.
You guys do that, because I've watched nothing and played nothing new.
That will change soon, but I've watched a few things recently. I watched a film that tried to get some Dominion over me, and you know what's funny? The Jurassic World films, they've just made the same film 3 times.
No, they made one good film and then they made 5 shitty ones.
No,
Let me guess the plot.
I meant the Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, the Jurassic World trilogy is literally the same film 3 times over. And the third one that I went to see last week, I don't know how they managed it, but they made the dinosaurs even more obsolete.
Yes, isn't it about locusts, the new?
Pretty much, yeah. It's all about locusts and a kid. Well, the kid was in the second one, but like her and the locust were the prime thing. There's like right at the end. I don't care. I'm going to spoil the whole thing. But like right at the end, there's a fight between like 2 big carnivore dinosaurs, and it just felt like they put it in just to have a fight between 2 dinosaurs because there just wasn't enough dinosaur stuff. There was no plot relevance. Like they're fighting, they're like, we need to get to the helicopter, and I'm like, but the dinosaur fight has no relevance. Like they get stuck under like a thing. This is literally right at the end of the film. I don't even care. They get stuck under like some rubble, and then like a T-Rex, and the T-Rex is like on top of it. And then it's just like, no! I'm like, this fight has no relevance to this whole film.
You know, it's funny. You said you're going to spoil it, but I've not seen the film, but I feel like I have already because I've seen a couple of reviews about it, and they were exactly the same. They just spoiled it outright because like this is such a fucking car crash. No one's going to care.
The only reason I went to see this film is. Can I say the name right? Bryce Dallas Howard. Oh, what a fine woman. And that's the only reason I went to see her. Looking hot. Looking hot. Literally.
You mean you didn't want to see the third film just because you wanted to see Chris Pratt raise his hands up to a dinosaur and tell it no?
You mean to see like near enough everyone bring up their hand and go, oh.
Yeah, are they trying to like cross over with Star Wars and put like force powers in it? Is that one of the smart taking the dinosaur to stop?
To be fair, when I can't remember what he's called. He's obviously he's in Jurassic Park 1 and 3.
Oh, Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill.
Yes, when Sam Neill appeared, he was really good. Sam Neill was really good in the film. To be fair, I bought he felt like his character. To be fair, even Jeff Goldblum felt like his character. There was even a bit where he shows a bit of chest reference to a meme.
From what I understand, the only real reason the original cast are there were just to throw back and say, "Hey, remember Jurassic World 1? Remember that?
Pretty
that
much.
was good. Remember that line I said about chaos? That was good, wasn't it?"
It wasn't a good film, but there were some moments that I was just like, "This is absolutely retarded," but Sam Neill was really good in this film. He really felt like it. His character. That's about the best I can say. Other than that, it was just the same Jurassic World film I've seen twice before. There's an evil scientist who's doing bad things in a company. He nearly gets away and then he gets eaten by dinosaurs. Sorry, I'm spoiling the whole film. To be fair, it's going to be out 2 weeks after. This episode's going to be 2 weeks after I've seen it. No one's going to be watching it by the time this episode's out.
To be honest, I kind of want to see it just because I know how crap it is. It just makes me want to watch it more.
You just want to see
It's like,
Bryce Dallas Howard is so hot, and she can direct Star Wars episodes.
well, Laura Dern was in Star Wars Episode 8.
Who?
Laura Dern.
Who?
You know, the woman, the actress from Jurassic Park.
Was she?
Yeah. You know, the older blonde woman who's in the film.
Yeah, but who does she play in Star Wars?
Oh, in Episode 8, she's the I can't remember the name of her character. She's the one with pink hair on board the ship.
Oh
who's
my!
basically in charge.
Her.
That's Laura Dern.
Yeah. Now you say it, I can see that now. Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, this is good," and then flies the spaceship into, whatever.
That's the one.
I'm not a fan of Episode 8. That's why
I honestly didn't mind Episode 8. Episode 9, however, was a fucking great big steaming pile of whatever the fuck that is. In fact, in the words of Jeff Goldblum, that is one big pile of shit.
So I saw Jurassic World Dominion. Anyway, on something else that both Chris and I watched. We watched the first episode of Miss Marvel.
We did. I haven't got an awful lot to say about it.
I think most of what we feel about it, we've already put in our chat. But
yeah,
I felt like it wasn't. I think it did not feel aimed at me. Nearly late 20, nearly 30-year-old. It did not feel aimed at me. I'll tell you that.
I can concur. As a 37-and-a-half-year-old, it really did not appeal to me all that much. So yeah. So Miss Marvel, it is basically I don't want to say another, but it really is another teenage coming of age sort of drama, except the superpowers involved, which I believe differ from her origins. I don't know an awful lot about Miss Marvel, but I believe in the comics she's like a polymorph, so she can bend and change shapes and then big and.
She's an Inhuman in the comics with basically the same powers as Mr. Fantastic.
Yes, that sounds about right.
And they've completely changed it because Inhumans don't exist in the MCU. Well, they kind of do, but kind of don't. But in the movies, they don't exist. So,
but we do have magic bracelets instead.
Well, she has that in. Apparently, she has that in the comics, but I don't know if it does.
No, I don't know.
I don't know what. Because obviously it's what's it related to religion? That's why it's important.
Yeah, I know because she's like Muslim, so that's getting a bit of traction. But I I can't. I don't even know if I'll even be able to ride out this series if it carries on the way it's going.
I'm gonna finish
Like,
it because
I suppose I will. Yeah.
I say it's not aimed at me, and you said yes, it is a coming of age story, but at the same time, it kind of nailed what it was going for. I'm not gonna say like I'm like, oh yeah, it's amazing. I was doing other things more than actually watching it. I was a bit like, oh, is this episode nearly done? Because I want to go to bed. Because it didn't grab me that much, but I think I will finish it. And the family dynamic was amazing. Like, that dynamic of that family was superbly written and superbly acted. I cannot fault that.
But by the same merit, it's nothing I've not seen before 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen this story so many times. There's a girl who's a misfit. She's not getting on that way with her family. It's like, oh, change the record, please. But that said, the father figure did get one laugh out of me. Where he just like burst through the door, like kind of dressed like the Hulk, but he's put like a sort of more religious spin on it. But it did get a laugh out of me.
I don't know why. I can just imagine you laughing to that moment. I don't know why.
Well, it did, but it's because it's cringy, but it's meant to be. So it kind of worked. But that's the only thing that really stood out. The bit where she like starts getting powers and that does seem like so by the book. She's like, "Oh, I have powers. I'm in shock. No, I must not tell anyone." But that was like right near the end of the episode. Like there's so much like so long building her up, which is fine. But like the actual like her having superpowers is like it's like literally the last 2 minutes of the episode.
The bit where where she's like making the plan to leave the house. I was like, wait, so they're gonna do all? I think what really like confused me. They were like, oh, we're gonna get on the bus and it's only gonna be like 50 minutes. No, did they say, oh, we're gonna leave here at like 6:30 and the bus is gonna be like 50 minutes? And then I was like, but then you got a 50-minute bus ride back, and you plan to get back at 9:30. So you're not even going to have much time at this convention. You're only going to have...
That's if the buses bloody turn up.
You're only going to have an hour.
That's the most unbelievable thing about these superhero universes. The buses arrive on time. I can't buy that for a second. Sorry.
That whole section, I was just like, what the hell? But no, I'm gonna watch it. But when is She-Hulk coming out?
Yeah, I'm all looking forward to that. I don't really know much about She-Hulk, to be honest, but I know it's not going to be a teenage coming of age drama, so it's already winning bonus points just for that alone.
I just love the trailer of She-Hulk where there's this like really buff guy and then she just picks him up and carries him like a baby.
Oh really? I have not seen the trailer, but I do want to go in blind.
That's what I'm going to say. That whole scene was just like, wait, what the hell? It's just ridiculous.
One thing I will say about Miss Marvel, from what I've seen, like people's reactions to it, is that they said that, like they liked how like the character Kamala sort of envisions it, because it's like sort of like a scrapbook sort of graphics when she's talking about superheroes. But I thought, no, isn't this just like Into the Spider-Verse? That is the exact same thing.
I saw someone comment like, isn't this basically Marvel version of Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I have not seen Diary of the Wimpy Kid, but I can probably agree with that.
I've not seen it either, but it made me laugh. But I think that has the scrapbook thing as well, and that's a bit of a coming of age. So that's more where I can see. But
I can probably picture me enjoying the show more if I was like 12. But
I think
No.
I'm the same. I'll watch it, but I think if I was far younger, I'd probably enjoy it far more. But as I said, it just didn't feel like it was aimed at a 28-year-old man.
No,
So
definitely not. Tell you what, the older I get, the more and more, like by the day, I relate more to old Captain America on the bench, just saying, no, I don't think I will. I'm just applying that to every aspect of my life.
I have finished. Well, there's still 2 episodes, but I have finished Stranger Things season 4 so far. But the other
we're not
have,
caught up yet.
Yeah, the other 2 have not watched it, so
I will have caught up by next episode.
So, but whereabouts are you now, Brandon, on your rewatch, or is it watch? I don't know.
So it turns out I originally said, "Oh, I don't think I've seen season 3." Turns out because it was so forgettable, it turns out I have actually seen it. So at the moment I'm as far as when can't even remember his name.
Billy?
When he's taken the from the pool to the little under area to basically get fed to whatever. So I'm only like 3 episodes in. You know when he's being a lifeguard and he starts spazzing out.
Yeah, it's Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names. Well, Billy.
Yeah. Billy.
So yeah, as I said, it turns out I have actually seen it. I just completely forgot that I have seen it.
You didn't, or did you not like season 3?
No, it's just I think I watched it at such a time where I just forgot I watched it because I thought season 3 was season 2.
Oh.
Because I remember seeing the Shadow Monster and fighting the Shadow Monster, but I originally thought that was season 2. So when I did watch season 2, I was like, "Huh? Are they not fighting the Shadow Monster? They're just sealing it away? What is this?"
No, season 2 is the season where it starts off and they're all depressed.
Mm.
And it's
then season 3, like everyone's just magically happy.
No, I think I'm not going to say anything else, but I think season 4 feels like it's got the best balance of everything that's come before. Like season 1, I really enjoyed season 1. I have some problems with it, and I always feel like a lot of people gloss over them. Season 2 a lot of the characters were quite depressed at the start. Season 3 I felt was probably a really good mix of a lot of things, and that was quite a fun season. I think season 4 is kind of carrying on that, but is a culmination of everything prior, even like some like the things I like about season 2. That's even like that aspect of the aspects I liked about season 2 have come back into season 4, which I like. So
I'd say my biggest gripe with season 2 is obviously you meet 8. So like when 11 goes and finds number 8, but she just seems very forgotten in season 2. Like they make it seem like such a big thing. Like when 11's mother tells her, "Go seek out your sister. Go seek out your sister." So she seeks out, but nothing really happens. Obviously, I know season 3 more happens, but it's just I felt like there could have been more space in season 2 to do it rather than just save it for season 3.
Yeah, I've got to agree. That episode feels really out of place.
Yeah,
everything else is it's like you got a different series mixed in.
Yeah, it's so weird. But no.
As I said, apart from that, I'm still really enjoying Stranger Things. It feels like a really nice watch.
Yeah, I thought season 3 was way better than season 2.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, Steve in a fucking sailor suit. Come on. No, true story. For like the year that came out, I tried my damnedest to try and find that costume for Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
And the price of it were insane. They were asking like hundreds of pounds. I was like, oh, fuck that. I ain't bothering. This is a shame because I really wanted to do that. Tell you what though, on about the same character, Steve. I think Steve's one of the best characters.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
And I'll tell you what, it's just in series 1 alone. I think it's the first time, or like one of the few instances I can ever recall in any series where they've got like the sort of stereotypical bully, and over the space of a series, he stops being that and starts like being responsible. You think normally like a character like that will end up getting killed or be the antagonist or get his comeuppance, but no, he like completely
They brought
changes.
Billy in for that.
Yeah,
they did. But you've not caught up, so I won't say anymore. What happens with Billy? But no, Steve's very much around, and I think his character's great. He gets some of the best laughs. He's got some of the best lines, and even going forward, like he's like built up as a hard ass, and even when he's like turning around and like trying to be like an older figure for the rest of the cast, even when he like try and applies himself, he fails a lot. Like he gets his ass kicked.
He does, like when he got, like I said, when he got beat up by Billy.
Yeah. But he don't start trying, bless him. But you do see him roll his eyes a hell of a lot when the kids are starting going on. He's almost like their adoptive father.
The only other good, like that, I would say what would probably be like the next best character is probably Dustin. Dustin he is the MVP of like near enough every season.
Yeah,
Dustin's great.
He just figures everything out.
I won't spoil it, but in the last episode of season 3, when they have when he's talking to his girlfriend, and they have that little exchange, shall we say? I don't think anyone who's watching it knew where to look. It's like, the fuck's going on? If you remember, you know what I'm talking about.
Season 3 is really good. I think when Stranger Things season 5 is out, I might give the whole series a big rewatch.
I did rewatch the first series because I watched like the first 2 on my own. So I watched the first one on my own, and then my folks wanted to watch it, so I ended up rewatching the first series before the second one came out. So we were watching it together now.
I know last week they gave the first details on season 5, which makes the whole series even more feel like it, or like so is like you can not feel like it, you can feel the even more of the inspiration of it in Stranger Things with what they said is happening with season 5.
Well, the whole thing with Stranger Things is it's like a culmination of everything. There's elements of every single horror film.
Yeah, so much Stephen King influences and just so much other stuff.
Yeah, well, what I've seen of season 4, it's not King that I'm thinking of. It's another horror franchise. It's quite big in the 80s, but I don't want to make any comparisons and ruin it.
I'm saying nothing. I know exactly I know exactly which one, but I'm saying nothing. But
it's good though.
Yeah, funny enough, I have watched one more thing, and then I don't. Maybe we can move on to something else. But I actually, funny enough, just before we finished, just before we started recording, I finished an anime called Carole Tuesday.
Actually watched it.
What? Yeah, I actually watched it. Yeah,
I completely forgot to watch it.
It's really good, really good. It's a music anime. I've not really watched many, and the ones I have are either been very mediocre or the music's been good, but the story has been a bit wavy in other areas. And Carole Tuesday is like, the music is great. Like I cannot fault the music. Like there's like these 2 minor characters, for example, these 2 old guys who, because they're so old and their hearing is so bad, they just play metal, and so they go into this competition and just play metal, and it's just really ridiculous and funny, but also it's still kind of really good. And then there's like but yeah, it's all about Carole Tuesday, who are because the whole series is set on Mars. So one's a girl from Earth and one's a girl from Mars, and one's rich, one's poor, and there's like quite a lot of differences. And they one Carole plays piano and Tuesday plays guitar, and they basically just make music for the first season. It's generally just them rising up and getting popular, making like songs. Generally, what you would expect with like, I don't know, a music artist starting up. So like they try and play a festival, they get booed off stage, and they try and like meet a big producer, and then it all falls through. They try and do like other things, and they try and do other little gigs, and it doesn't work, and some do, and then they go. It like all culminates in like a kind of like an X Factor or The Voice kind of thing, or Pop Idol, whatever. And that's like quite funny and quite interesting. And there's still, it's like it's got these little quirks and a lot of things. And I've been slowly going through it because I've been quite busy and I watch too many other things that I'd sometimes want to get on top of. But it was a really good series, and it was cause when you start the first episode, it's all talking about this thing called the 7-minute miracle, which is the last song of the series, and it was quite cool to actually see that the last song was actually 7 minutes long. But it is a really good series. I think and there's a lot of really good songs all the way through. The last song is really good as well. Probably my favourite song is maybe the first song in the series, but there's so many really good songs all the way through. A lot of it is very poppy and like soft rock, but there's like a mixture of many things, and it's a really good series. The second series is a little, I think, loses some focus, but it's as a whole it is still really good. And if you want a really good music anime, I'd recommend it. I know quite a few people who've watched it and they really rate it.
I'd say because I think the only music anime I've really watched is Fuka.
I've watched that. I enjoyed it. I think some of the story was a bit at times, but I did enjoy it. I like the music. That I do re-listen to those songs quite a few times from Fuka, and they absolutely slap.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a few other musical ones I've been told to watch. Like Your Lie in April's been on my list for God knows how long. There's a few others which I've been told I have to watch. But it's that same sort of thing I felt, like trying to get me into mecha anime.
Yeah.
I was just like, can I really be bothered to get into music anime? But I know obviously if I get into him, I probably will be into him.
You know what's
just trying to find like that energy just to get into him.
Mention mecha anime. You know what's just come onto Netflix?
What?
Original Gundam.
Bloody hell.
I've just added all they got the original Gundam trilogy, so I just added all three, and I'm going to watch them at some point. So.
How long is the original Gundam? Because I used to have the figures when I was younger.
No idea, but I think the whole original Gundam, you can just watch the films, and there you go. But But I guess that's a few things we want prior to anything else. I know you've got a game, Chris.
Yes, actually. So we do have a main topic for today, but I think this will lead quite nicely into it. So, since the last episode of the podcast, I've managed to get my hands on a Xbox Series S. I wasn't particularly looking to get a new Xbox, but it kind of just turned up in my lap for like dirt cheap. Well, that sounds sinister. Someone on Facebook posted it for cheap, and I was like, and it's like someone I work with. So I was like, "You only want that much for it? Tell you what, bring it to work tomorrow. I'll just give you the cash for it." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Sweet." So I went to work the next day and got an Xbox, which was nice. Wish I had more days like that at work. So I had a quick look because I thought, "Oh, what games are actually out on the new Xbox that I'm really bothered about?" And honestly, none. I had a look at Game Pass because I thought, "Oh, I've got one game in mind. I want to get the game The Medium, which launched on like day one on Game Pass." And I thought, great, because that's not on the normal Xbox One Game Pass, but it was on the Xbox Series S. So I was like, great, I'll go and download that. Got home, it's no longer on there. It's been removed. It's like, fuck's sake. All right, I guess I won't play that. But then I had a second idea. It's like, oh no, there's one game that I tried to play on the Xbox One, but it wouldn't work properly, purely because it relied purely on cloud gaming rather than installation. So when I did try and play it, it was buggy as fuck. It was like unplayable. But this time I could install it properly. It's like, hooray! And that game is Serious Sam 4. That's all I played on it. If you are...
Sounds serious.
I'm very serious. What were you going to say, Brandon?
I was going to say, so you literally just spent however much amount of money just to play Serious Sam.
Worth every fucking penny. So, if you are not aware what the Serious Sam games are, they are first-person shooters in like the style of Doom, i.e., you like get a lot of weapons. Like you don't have regenerating health. It's not like about cover base at all. It's just going out there, picking up health and armor, and just going absolutely mental. But what it places emphasis on is instead of like narrow corridors and like one or two enemies at a time, like you would in like say Doom, there's a huge emphasis on just like tons of enemies. It's almost like a sort of first-person bullet hell because there's so much shit happening on screen. Like you'll pick up a key and not a few enemies will spawn in. No, it will literally be like hundreds. Your like kill count when it tallies it up at the end of the level is stupidly high. It's like, oh, you got like 15,000 kills this level. It's like, Jesus. But I tell you what, the Serious Sam 4, it doesn't really bring an awful lot new to the table to the rest of the series. But here's the thing about Serious Sam. It knows exactly what it is, and it's never really tried to change. 4 plays pretty much exactly the same as 1, 2, and 3. They all play identical. They're just really fun games to like put on for a bit, turn your brain off, just smite a load of enemies using miniguns and rocket launchers, and just chill. It's a really good stress relieving type game. Plus, it's got a sense of humor. It's got so many secrets in it, so many like in jokes. It's like every stage has got like a handful of secrets you can find, and sometimes they feel a bit weird because it feels like you're breaking the game, like you're going out of boundaries to find some of these. But no, there are stuff there. It's just sometimes it feels like you jump over a wall. It's like, am I meant to be here? Have I just broken the game? But that's another thing about the Serious Sam games. They all sort of lack polish. They're not like the most graphically impressive ones. They are a little bit janky, but kind of in a good way because it kind of adds to the charm. If that makes sense. I suppose the only way you can see for yourself is just to play it. So don't think you're gonna get like the next Doom Eternal, because you're not. But what you are gonna get is just a fun kill everything to death simulator.
What was the Serious Sam game? That was on the PS2.
Was
that Serious Sam 2, or is it?
Yeah, but I think the first game may have got a port as well. It gets a little bit confusing with like Serious Sam 2 around that era, because there was like a GameCube one as well, but the GameCube one is like a completely different game. It kind of gets skewed. It's like really confusing. Yeah, it's like Serious Sam 1, had Serious Sam 2, and then about 4 other games which are all Serious Sam 2, but not really, not quite. Because there was like a director's cut version as well, just to confuse further. There was a GBA port to it. Trying to play a first-person shooter on a Game Boy Advance back in the day. But I'll tell you what, Serious Sam was one of the better ones. if you can believe it. So and then you had Series 7 free BFE, which story-wise it's like more of a prequel, but it kind of gets confusing. There is a plot to Serious Sam, and it's basically like there's this alien overlord called Mental who keeps sending all these aliens to kill you. You never see Mental. You don't know who he is. But he's always like under wraps. It is mental. It's always got some under wraps. And it's like, I'm on the 4th game now. Maybe we'll finally get to see who Mental is. And so far, no. Although I did see a leak, and there was like on the first Serious Sam game, there was like a basic multiplayer mode, and they put in the character of Mental, and it's essentially just a palette swap of your character, sort of like the dark version of it, like a bit like what Doom Eternal did. Doom Eternal's ripping off Serious Sam. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, spoilers! I've not played Doom Eternal. I've only just got Doom 2016. Spoilers.
It's DLC. Don't worry.
Oh.
And it's fine. It's right off the bat. You can't miss it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So don't panic. There's no real spoilers. Oh, calm down. What was I saying? Yeah. So I really recommend the Serious Sam games. They're dumb fun. They lack polish, but honestly, they're very high intense. If you like first-person shooters where you just want to kill shit, and boom, turn it on. Jobs are good. Especially if you can get it for free, because it is on Game Pass. So, hooray. Anywho, so another thing Serious Sam's known for is it's got really out there weapons. Like, some of them are insane. Mental, if you will. But one I found when I was playing Serious Sam 4 yesterday, I thought took the biscuit. So, are you ready for this? Because I don't think you are. It is a flaming, homing, rocket-propelled chainsaw launcher.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on there, and I tell you what, it's bloody fun to use. Because not only do you fire it like a rocket launcher, you also have an alternate mode where you use it just like a chainsaw, except it's got 4 saw blades, because why not? Or also it's on fire. But as I say, they home in, so even when they hit the enemy, they continue to sustain damage over time as well. And it's a delight to use. The only downside I've seen to it is you don't have much ammo for it, which is a shame because I want to use it more. But what got me thinking is this game is like this weapon is so stupid and yet so brilliant. I thought this would lead us nicely into a topic, which is what are like the coolest, like most iconic or most unique video game weapons that are out there. So we sort of have been brainstorming the last day and a bit because we couldn't decide on the topic beforehand.
I think we were just going to pick some of our favourite unique weapons, really, or just some of our favourite weapons in video games, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like what's the coolest. I think I don't know. Like I'm just like picking things I remember playing those games and quite like to use. Maybe there are cooler weapons in other things, but you know, I enjoyed using them and that was fun.
But I think this is a good question for our viewers out there. Really have a think of like what weapons have you used in games that you just had a lot of fun with?
Like 3 weapons that are iconic that we're going to mention now but aren't going to be in our little list, I would say, is the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, the Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII, I was about to say 7 again, and then the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. Like, they're just 3 iconic swords, and they're just really fun to use in the games. So,
yes, but we were saying like the thing is with like swords in like RPGs is no matter how iconic their design is, at the end of the day they are just swords. Like, there's not really like there's cosmetics. Yeah, like all it means is like the better the sword you get, the bigger the number goes, and that's nothing actually changes gameplay wise. Right. So I suppose if you're going to go for something from Final Fantasy, if you were going to pick something, you'd go with like ultimate weapon, but that could be like easy.
But since you started off, Chris, how about you pick something?
Well, I kind of want to leave with my all-time favourite, but I think I should build up to that. I may have mentioned it on the podcast before. Chances are I have, but screw it. This is weeks later. No one's going to remember. Probably. Well, hats off to you if you do. Well done. Thanks for listening. So, there's so many really good ones out there, and I have been struggling, but I tell you what, I'm going to go with something a bit weird to start with. Something you might not immediately think of. So, the game, Skyrim. I think that's got a portal too. I'm not sure. It's
I think I
Skyrim.
know what you're going to say.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. So, there is a weapon in Skyrim called the Wabberjack.
Oh, yes.
I knew you was going to say that.
If you don't know what the Wabberjack is, it's a Daedric weapon. It's basically a quest item reward you get, and what it is like it's essentially a staff, like a magic staff. But here's the thing: what it does is completely random. It has several effects. So you cast this staff at an enemy, and there's just a list of things that can happen. So, for example, you can shoot a fireball. Fair enough. You'll shoot a thunderbolt at them. Fair enough. Or you could turn them into a pile of cheese. Or perhaps you could summon a rabbit that stands behind you and the enemy targets those instead of you.
Or you can turn them into a hawker.
Yep. Or you can just instantly kill them. But here's the kicker. If you instantly kill them and they're a ghost, they turn into a sweet roll. But yeah, it's shit like that. Even like more mundane things like you absorb their health, you drain their stamina, you put fear into them, you heal them instead by accident, or you just disintegrate them. I mean, it's one of these fun weapons because you can build like challenge runs around this thing, and I know people have, like just using the Jabberwack. Because it's kind of like using metronome in Pokemon. It's like you're just going to cast it at it, and either you do really well by one hit killing it, or you'll just summon a rabbit, which won't really help you. So it's completely random. But I thought as weapons go from that iconic for that sort of Elder Scrolls sort of franchise, it's got to be that. Isn't it?
Yeah, I was. If you wasn't going to mention it, I was going to mention the Wabberjack. It was somewhere on my list.
Oh, I'm glad we're on the same page here.
I think for me as well, one of the reasons why I was going to choose the Wabberjack is because have you heard of the YouTube channel Manslayer?
I have not.
Okay, if anyone gets a chance, please check out the YouTube channel Manslayer and watch Skyrim Gamer Poop. It is fucking hilarious.
I shall give that a go.
It's just complete chaos, and like honestly, Chris, if you watch it, I think it's your sort of sense of humor. It's fucking brilliant. It's literally one of those YouTube things which I'll probably watch once a year just for a really good laugh. It's absolutely hilarious, and if for some reason it just epitomizes just the Wabberjack in terms of just how random it is. So yeah, so please, slightly off topic, but if anyone wants to just have a really good laugh about Skyrim, please watch Skyrim Game of Poop. There's like 15 episodes of them, and they're each about 2 minutes long. Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I think I may be getting the wrong YouTuber, but I think it was Mitten Squad who did like a challenge run just using the Wabberjack. See if we could beat the whole game with it, and hilarity ensues, and also cheese ensues. So that's my first pick.
That was a really good pick.
Yeah.
I've got one which I want to briefly mention because obviously recently in times I've been playing Vampire Survivors, and there's one particular weapon on there which I think is just completely busted. Like early game, it's so fun to use, and it just makes the game so easy. And that's the garlic. As Dan's already mentioned it, and it's such a fantastic weapon. Like it's just literally just damage over time. It sets up like a ring around you to protect you. So literally in the early stages of Vampire Survivors, you could just literally just walk around and the enemies just drop dead. Like you don't need to do anything. And it's just like a nice sort of protection net. It makes it so easy just to get started in it. Yeah, it just makes everything so easy, yeah. And even right now, I'm using Poe, who's the character who starts off with the garlic. It just makes it so easy.
The only problem with him is he has like no health. He's very fragile.
He's very fragile.
He's very fragile. That's all I'd say about him. I tend to not use him, but yeah, the garlic is great. I think if I was to pick something else from Vampire Survivors, I'd probably pick a different weapon that I don't think you've unlocked. I can't remember what it's called though. I might just quickly load up Vampire Survivors just so I can find a name. But there's quite a few interesting weapons in Vampire Survivors. I'm literally, I can't remember what it's called. I don't think you've unlocked it. But no. No, the garlic is really good. And have you upgraded it yet, Brandon?
No, I've never completed it to the max.
Well,
the only items I've completed to the max is the fire wand and the knives. I've done nothing to max level yet.
Well, obviously now on Vampire Survivors you can see what you need to upgrade, so it's easier. Because when I got it, you didn't know that.
I know, because it just seemed like I was just walking around doing, like, having no idea what I'm doing, and then occasionally something would get unlocked.
If I, the garlic's great and all, but if there's something that is very different in Vampire Survivors, as a very different weapon, it's the cat.
What does that do?
It has cats.
Do they do anything?
They kill enemies. They just go around the screen and kill enemies. That's literally all it does.
That sounds great. Cats. I want it. I want an army of cats.
And when you upgrade it, you get more cats, and then when you evolve it, it transformed into an eye that goes around. Loads of eyes that go around. It's a bit of a weird weapon where the cats can get into cat fights. And it has like a scuffle, like you see in the old cartoons. It has like a scuffle with these cats, and if you go into it, you get damaged yourself. It's quite funny. You just see, when you get the weapon, you see all these cats going across the screen, just wandering into enemies, and it's a funny weapon. And the upgrade is quite nice because it upgrades with the stone mask, which gives you more money. So it's quite a nice weapon to upgrade as well. Yeah, I get that wasn't actually one of my picks, but I guess someone else want to pick something.
If I've got another option, then one of the other weapons which I'd like to go for is it's a weapon which I absolutely fell in love with as soon as I picked it up, and that's got to be the Millennia Sword from Elden Ring. As soon as I beat Millennia in Elden Ring, I was so happy. Like it took me 2 or 3 days to beat her, like on normal new game with my first playthrough. I was getting absolutely destroyed fighting her. Then when it came to New Game Plus, I beat her on my first attempt. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, as soon as I picked up Millennia's Sword and I found out you could do her waterfowl dance, that's just literally all I wanted to do. Is just go up to a group of enemies and just use waterfowl dance. I felt such like a boss wearing all of Millennia's outfit, Millennia's Sword, my dex build. It felt so glorious. So yeah, it felt really nice to complete my first playthrough using, obviously the Uchi Katana all the way until I beat Millennia, and then using Millennia's Sword in Elden Ring. That was so good. And then as a bonus mention, seeing as I'm on the Soulsborne series, is I am such a simp for scythes. Absolute simp for scythes. So I have to give an amazing credit to the Burial Blade from Bloodborne. That the fact that they saved one of the most aesthetically pleasing weapons till the very, very end of the game is criminal. But using the burial blade, it just looks amazing. It feels great to, wear the full Canehurst armor using the burial blade as a scythe. That's literally it's fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
If
we're going down, go on, Dan.
Because it's related to if you are a simp for scythe, Brandon, upgrade the axes in Vampire Survivors.
Oh,
carry on, Chris.
Are you trying to tell me something here?
Maybe.
Yes. Well, what I was going to say, because if we're going down the Bloodborne route, I've got to give a shout out to the whirly-jig. Fucking love the whirly-jig.
I never really used that.
I've used it in one of my playthroughs, but again, it's like the burial blade. You do not get it until like super late, which is really sucky. But if you don't know what the whirly-jig is, imagine just a lollipop that sets the stick is made of metal, and the top half is just a rotating chainsaw. There we go.
It's absolutely lethal weapon.
Yeah, you just like hold down the attack. It works a bit different to most things. Most like weapons, you like swing or thrust or something, but the whirly-jig, you more sort of like just hold it down like you would do a chainsaw.
And then they had the goal to bring it into Elden Ring as well.
I've not used the Elden Ring equivalent.
As soon as I saw the guy wearing it, wielding it, and I died, I was like, "Oh fuck me, here we go."
Well, I was like if you like unique weapons from the Soul series, I think the whirly-jig's about as unique as it gets.
It was a very, very unique weapon. Just the fact that you don't do damage by swinging, you just do damage by existing.
Exactly, yeah. I suppose another weird one from Bloodborne will be like Simon's Blowblade as well, which I think is the very last weapon you get in the DLC. But Simon's Bowblade is like exactly what it says on the tin. It's a blade that transforms into a bow, which is something you don't see very often. Yeah. But I've never used it. I think I looked at the stats and went, "That's a bit shit."
Yeah, it did seem a bit underwhelming because I thought, being like literally like the last weapon you unlock it would, be a bit more impactful, but it really wasn't.
It feels more like a reward for like getting this far in the game. It's like, have basically a gimmick weapon rather than an actual. I'll tell you what. I'll just go into my next pick. If we're talking gimmick ones, like I've got to give a shout out to the weapon you unlock at the end of Dead Space 2 for completion, which is just a foam hand that like one shot kills everything. It doesn't fire anything. You just aim your big foam hand at the enemies like you're doing a handgun, and it just fires invisible projectiles, which just one shots everything. Think enemies just completely fall apart. And for the bonus points, instead of reloading, if you hit the reload button, Isaac just puts his hand in the air and just like sort of rocks out, like does like the devil symbols and just like, and as a lovely extra touch, when Isaac does fire, he just says like onomatopoeias. He just starts going bang, pew pew, just for that added charm. So I suppose it's not really a weapon. Well, it is, but it's kind of a joke. But I think another iconic weapon from the Dead Space franchise, at least one of my favourites, and I suppose it is really good because of how it's balanced, it's just the good old plasma cutter, like the basic gun you get in the game. And all it does is like an alt firing mode, is it just changes the angle from like vertical to horizontal. But because you can upgrade it for over the course of the game, it's completely viable to use it in both 1 and 2 all the way through. Plus, in the second game, it does get a flame add-on as well, so it does bonus damage. Like it sets enemies on fire as well on occasion. I don't think it's every time, but there's like a chance for it to do so. So it just makes it that little bit neater. But hey, yeah, any weapon from Dead Space, gotta be the plasma cutter. That's got me through many a scrape.
Well, I have a weapon. Well, there's many weapons in this game. Many, many, many weapons. Many items that can make these many weapons. But I think the most iconic one from this game, this weapon and this game, which we've never actually mentioned on this podcast. We've never mentioned this game or this game series on the podcast. And it's the paddle saw from Dead Rising 2.
Did you get that idea by me mentioning it in the chat?
No. Yeah, the paddle saw. Who doesn't want a paddle with 2 chainsaws mowing down zombies? It's fucking great.
It's great.
I'll
tell you what.
I also like the knife gloves with the boxing gloves with the Bowie knives. Then you just boxing zombies to death with knives on boxing gloves.
I think if we're talking about iconic and unique weapons, you can pretty much just give the trophy to Dead Rising. Because you can pretty much pick any weapon from it. It's like, here you go, have fun. Like the guitar, you can just attach to an amp and just like blow enemies' heads off by just strumming a guitar.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's like, so yeah, I think Dead Rising 2 like gets the gold standard for unique weapons.
Yeah, I guess on something different. I guess it's one that I played a lot of Time Splitters back in the day, and that has a lot of interesting and weird and wonderful guns. I think one I always loved, especially it only really worked in the single player because that's where it shined. In multiplayer, it didn't really work because, well, it was multiplayer. But it's the mag charger. And I don't know if you remember what this is in Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Do tell us in the audience.
The mag charger is like a sci-fi weapon that allows you to see through walls. So you can basically snipe people through walls and kill them through walls.
So it's a little bit like the laptop gun from Perfect Dark.
It might probably will be similar to that. Yes, mag charger is such a cool weapon. There's a load of cool weapons in Time Splitters Future Perfect, like a brick.
Oh, brick! In the words of Father Jack Hackett, I love my brick.
Yeah, like the weapons in Future Perfect are great. You got like the monkey gun, which like that looks like the mag charger as well, but it unleashes all its ammo. Like it unleashes its whole clip of ammo into your target, and then you gotta reload it. But on a more of a sword, I was gonna mention the sword of the creator from Fire Emblem Three Houses, only because it's such a cool sword, because it looks like it's made out of bones. To be fair, all the relic weapons in Three Houses look like they're made out of bones, and they look really cool. But the sword of the creator is like the iconic weapon from that game, and it just looks really cool, and it's a little bit like the cane from Bloodborne, where it can detach and become a bit and extend a little bit like for you, Brandon, Renji's sword from Bleach. It's a bit like that.
Oh, okay.
It's really cool. Sword of the Creator is a cool weapon.
I've just got in my head the line from Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Like imagine if you had a relic room with all these like bone-looking weapons hanging up. You could just stand there and just go, "Look at the bones."
All right, Billy.
Sorry, I had to get that out of my system.
I'll say if we're going to keep going on the topic of swords, I suppose if I was to pick like an absolute favorite sword in terms of aesthetics, actual weapon design, and actual mechanics of the sword itself, I'll have to go with the Terrorblade from Terraria. And it's possibly the most hardest to get item on the game, because effectively to get this sword in Terraria, which has the highest damage scaling and does absolutely everything, is you need to collect almost every other sword in the game. So you need to craft every sword, or find every sword, craft them all together to make the Terrorblade. And the mechanic of this sword is, rather than it being like a sword you literally just swing and hit enemy in front of you, it's like an automatic swing, and it literally fires every sword at the opponents. All of a sudden, you'll have like your copper short sword flying out, the grass blade sword, the fiery great sword, the Excalibur. You'll have all sorts just flying out, and it looks freaking phenomenal. And I've never ever been able to make it. Like anytime I've played Terraria, I've never been able to make it because it just takes so much time, effort to actually craft it. Oh my god, when you do, I've had to go like on the equivalent of a creative mode to use it, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It is literally such a good looking sword, so cosmetically pleasing.
Swords are cool, but you know what's even cool?
A scythe.
A gun that shoots swords and they explode.
Oh, is that from Borderlands by any chance?
It might be. Sword explosion.
I know that one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I did use that a lot.
It's just the explosion damage. Realistically, you can get far better weapons, but it's just like this weapon is just so ridiculous that it's just so fun.
All right, very quick tangent while we're on the subject of Borderlands, and we're talking about weapons. Which gun manufacturer in Borderlands has the best weapons?
I don't know. I like them all for different reasons, and it depends.
I wouldn't know because I've never played.
Yeah, it's more of a question for me, and it depends what weapon I'm using because, like pistols, I use Jacobs mostly, and same with like snipers. But then, what's it for like assault rifles? I prefer Bandit. And then, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you could say which is the best, because I think each make has a different thing. I think like the most unique is Teledor, where to reload it you have to throw it. And it just a new gun just materializes with a clip.
Oh yeah, you don't just throw it though; it explodes like a grenade as well.
Yeah.
The one downside of the TDO, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you hit the reload button, it doesn't matter how much you've got left of your clip; you lose the entire clip.
Yes, but
which
also
I never noticed the first few times I used it.
But also, the more ammo you have in the clip, the more damage you do on the explosion.
This is true, but it's TDO. I don't particularly like that because I'm one of these people that has to reload even if I buy one bullet.
I'm not saying it's my favorite.
So much ammo.
I'm not saying it's my favorite. I think it's just like it's a fun idea. I don't know. I like them all for different reasons. Like Mallow one's cool for all the elemental stuff. I don't know whatever ones you got. You got Bandit, Mallow one. Hyperion just feels like a good all-rounder kind of thing. It's just all about accuracy, where it just goes, blah, and then it's like, oh no, now I'm accurate.
Yeah. Well, the Hyperion SMGs have got a stupidly high rate of fire, and if you can get one with like a large clip, they're fantastic. Right. But I would probably say my favourites are Torg, just because they do all the explosive ones. The Torg shotgun, and including the sword one, because that's the Torg one. Yeah. They're my favourite. There's nothing better than getting like really close into like a boss, especially if it's like a sort of a mid-game one when you're a higher level. Just walking like point blank up to like a boss or a mini boss, just putting that trigger once and this thing itself does immediately disappear. It's been hit with so much shrapnel and explosions. It's glorious. It's a proper power trip.
I think I don't know what I'd go for. I think it depends on the weapon, but I think a good all-round is either Bandit or Hyperion, or Malawan, probably one of those three. But I love the Jacob guns because they have this really they have like, especially like the high rarity weapons have these really cool designs that have like the feel of like Wild West and pistols and rifles and stuff like that, and I love how they look.
I like the extra personality they have, like just because at first, like the gun manufacturers in the first game are just they're like the gun manufacturers. But as the series goes on, like they've put so much like thought behind them, like the actual companies behind them. They become like the villains of the series or heroes, depending on the faction. But
Dahl as well. That's another. I forgot about them.
Yeah,
I forgot about those weapons. Where they're the ones where when you aim, you have it goes into burst fire. They're quite fun as well.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to like the dialogues like you get from like machines and that when like each company is like slagging off the other one?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think it's Hyperion one that says, "Oh, nobody uses Jacobs apart from convicts and paedophiles." What?
Right.
And as Jacobs say, if it took more than one shot to kill it, you weren't using a Jacobs.
I think the only other weapon I've picked is from Bioshock and Bioshock 2, actually. I could have picked loads of... the weapons in the Bioshock games are really good, but I've chosen to pick the rivet gun in Bioshock 2 because it's just really... it feels really fun and it's just really nice to use. It has like it's basically like the pistol of Bioshock 2, and the weapons in the Bioshock games, well, Bioshock 1 and 2, they have like different ammo, and for the rivet gun, you have obviously the normal rivets, which is just whatever, just standard like pistol ammo, whatever. Then you have like the sticky ammo, where you can basically like set up traps and you can like stick it onto like enemies and you can just watch them like blow up with all the rivets. I can't remember what the third one was, but that was a really fun and well-rounded weapon I love to use. It near enough became one of the staple weapons I would use. But a lot of the weapons in the Bioshock, especially Bioshock 1 and 2, are really good. But the Bioshock Infinite weapons are good as well. But I just think 1 and 2 have... the weapons are more memorable than Infinite.
When I think of the Bioshock games, like the guns themselves don't seem to stand out to me. It's more the plasmids.
Yeah, but we spoke about earlier, like, well, we can't do spells and technically plasmids spells.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah, that's why. But otherwise, I would have instantly meant the plasmids are where that stand out in that game. But yeah, the in terms of like the weapons, like a lot of the weapons really do stand out and are really fun to use. So.
Yeah, especially in like Infinite, because the guns in Infinite, they get the job done, but they're pretty bland. Isn't it? It's just like it really is just like shotgun, pistol, Tommy gun. That's it, really, isn't it?
There's nothing wrong with them, but it is just literally that.
You never get one and think, oh, this looks fun. It's like, oh, I wonder what this does. Like, can't wait to try this.
No, it's fun, but it's the problem with Infinite is it like the COD. Like COD, you can only have 2 weapons, so you have all these weapons. And you're well, I can only carry 2 of them. Whereas in Bioshock 1 and 2, it's like, hey, look, I'm going around with 8 weapons. This is fun.
Yeah, where we had that phase of like every game was trying to be Halo for a bit. Yeah. I'll tell you what is good in Bioshock Infinite. Could have picked though. Just the Skyhook. Skyhook.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
No, I didn't until just now. Just talking about it. So,
that's a good point.
If you don't know what the Skyhook is, it's basically it's like a sort of. Say again.
It's a Skyhook. No.
Oh yeah, I was going to say it's more like it's kind of like a very angry fidget spinner that you just have in your hand.
Yeah,
you're meant to like traverse rails with it, but you can melee people with it, and it looks like it hurts. Like It looks like a very uncomfortable way to go. So yeah, quick nod to that one. Brandon, you got another one first?
I've got like a collection which I can maybe do like a special reference to.
Oh god, yeah, I've got loads.
Well, no, this is mainly going to like first-person shooters. So obviously, I grew up during the era where, well, I say grew up during the era. Fuck me, it makes me sound like I'm old.
All growing up.
You know, like Dan, you'll probably be able to relate to this more than Chris. Is imagine doing your GCSEs or your A levels, and you go home and you play Halo 3, or Modern Warfare 2, or Call of Duty Black Ops or Nazi Zombies with your best mates.
Yeah.
So I've basically broken down a few of my favorite weapons from some of the franchises. So the first one I grew up with was Halo 3. And in terms of just iconic, in terms of aesthetics with just sound design and actual using and then the skill required to use this weapon, I think my favorite weapon from Halo 3 is probably just the battle rifle. It just sounds so good when you fire it. You know, if you're playing MLG Halo 3, 3 shots to the head and you can, you know, take someone out. So, great weapon. Then if we could jump to Modern Warfare 2, I have to, like, the intervention. You know, like going around like no scoping or quick scoping people with the intervention, and the sound of when you fire the intervention is just amazing. And also running around with the Scar H in Modern Warfare 2, just going around shooting people with that. That was also a fantastic weapon in terms of ammo reserves, damage scaling, range, looks. You know, top-notch weapon. And then if we go more delving into particulars of like the zombies franchise of COD, I think the monkey symbols is quite a weapon, if you would not agree.
Wait, the monkey symbols in what?
From COD Zombies.
Monkey symbols?
Yeah, the symbol monkeys.
Oh! Yeah, right, okay, never mind. You really confuse me. Because you know when you call it symbol monkey symbols, really threw me off. Yeah.
What's the best way to distract zombies? Just throw a monkey clapping cymbals together, and then it blows up. And it's almost got infinite, like, basically max scaling. Like as the rounds go on, the symbol monkeys just keep doing more and more damage. So it's absolutely fantastic weapon. Like, I think I've always been happy if I was playing like multiplayer and I was the one to end up getting the symbol monkeys. So, but then if I continue on with that era of shooters, the Lancer from Gears of War, I think that's a very unique weapon. The fact that it's literally a chainsaw attached to a gun, and the kill animations of when you rev against like a locust or anything like that, and just the blood flies everywhere, is so fucking satisfying, if you would not agree. Absolutely satisfying. So in terms of like first person shooters or third person shooters, I'd say like the Scar H intervention, the battle rifle, the Lancer, and maybe Mustang and Sally as well, the pack-a-punched guns from COD Zombies. I'd say like, they're my favourite guns of all time.
I would just say the ray gun. Ray gun's so fun.
Ray gun's just bland. I mean, it's cool when you first played like World at War, if you're playing on Natchdut and Toten. But I mean, like once you get to maps like Der Rise or any of like the newer ones on actual Black Ops or whatever, the ray gun just sort of just teeters off. I've never really been a fan of the ray gun. I've more been like a Wonder Waffle fan in that era. Or I'd prefer the assault rifle just so I can rack as many points as I want and then just keep recycling the pack-a-punch guns off the walls.
Well, I just thought of another weapon. It is more... Well, it relates to a character, but it is a weapon, and prior to this character being revealed and released, you could see the weapon in the game, and you actually had to transport it in the game. And it's Doomfist.
I love Doomfist.
He's a character in Overwatch I always would love to be good at, but I just always fail. But the Doomfist, the actual fist, is so cool. It is
really, really cool. That's
like
a really good choice.
One of the most iconic weapons in Overwatch. It just looks so cool. Because
It's so I'm gonna say it's so iconic. I don't know what it is. Can you elaborate?
It's literally a shotgun in your knuckles.
yeah,
and
literally what I was literally about to say. It's a shotgun in your knuckles.
But it's just the other mechanics to do with the weapon. So like the way Doomfist works is you can do like an uppercut to launch people in the air. You can do like a charged punch to knock people into walls and knock them off the map. And then you've got the slam down attack. So once you've done say for example, you've done the charge up punch, you then lead into an uppercut to knock people into the air. And if you see someone on the floor, you can then press another button to do like a ground slam. And just chaining all these attacks, because they're on such low cooldown, you can do awesome amount of damage. But the skill it takes to be a good Doomfist player compared to like someone like Roadhog.
Yeah, because...
Or even you, Dan. The fact that you can play Winston still baffles me.
Yeah, because the Doomfist was teased from the very first trailer of Overwatch, or the cinematic, before it even came out. I don't remember ever seeing it, Brandon.
No, because I was very late to the Overwatch party.
It was like the very first cinematic trailer where it's the two kids and they're in this museum and they're going around. You just see the Doomfist, and then next minute you got Reaper, Tracer, and Widowmaker, maybe someone else. But then, yeah, they all and Winston, and they're all like fighting each other. Well, Tracer and Winston are fighting Reaper and Widowmaker, and the boys are just looking at prior to them coming, they're looking at the Doomfist. Or Doomfist Fist. I don't know.
Doomfist Fist. That's a bit of a mouthful.
I don't even think the actual Doomfist in the game is the original Doomfist either. I think there's another Doomfist prior. Oh, I literally just said I've just found it. Yeah. I think he's the fourth. No, he's the third Doomfist. So there's been 3 Doomfists. This is too many fists.
This is quickly turning into a drinking game of how many take a shot every time we say Doomfist.
But I think the moral of this subject is there's a lot of iconic video game weapons. I think we could be here for hours.
I didn't even mention my favourite one.
Please.
Is it not the Wabberjack?
It's not the Wabberjack, no. I just thought that was a cool weapon. And it is. So, no, my absolute favourite, right, is you probably guessed.
It's Keyblade.
No. It's not, but I suppose, we better mention the Keyblade because someone will get angry if we don't. Keyblade's alright. There we go. That's my option.
Basically a sword, isn't it?
It's a sword. I like
basically a sword, isn't it?
I like
all the Kingdom Hearts people's like, no!
Frothing at the mouths, going, Keyblade.
Yeah.
I do actually like Kingdom Hearts, but still, the story's absolutely trash. But...
Oh, God, yeah. Don't try and follow it. Yeah, all right, very, very quickly, for those that are out there, and I know you're there. Top 3 Keyblades. 1, the Nightmare Before Christmas one. Yes. 2, the Pirates of the Caribbean one. And 3, the Toy Story one. There,
wait,
done.
There's different Keyblades.
I was going to say, what about the Buster Sword one? The Buster Sword one's well cool.
No. I picked a 3. I'm not changing it. Anyway, we already had Buster Sword. It's like an actual one. So.
It's I can't wait. I think it's for like Iron Chocobo. It just looks like a Mega Blocked version of the Buster Sword. It looks well funny.
I can't picture it at all off the top of my head.
I think it's called Metal Chocobo. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. I'm sure someone will tell us if we're wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, it literally is Metal Chocobo. I got it. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. What's your favourite?
What was the thing? Oh yeah. So you may have gathered that I like shotguns a lot. Like they're generally my favourite. I can normally gauge how good an FPS shooter is by saying, is there a shotgun in it? And how good is it? That is a good baseline. But my absolute favourite, which I think I've mentioned before, but we're on the topic, so sod it. Doom Eternal's Super Shotgun. It's got so much feedback. It feels so powerful. It's got a grappling hook, which drags you towards the enemy. Initially, the game developers did want to do it so you drag the enemy to you, but they felt that kept you in place for too long, and they wanted to keep it fluid. So they changed it so you go to them. Plus, this flame this grappling hook is also on fire for added damage, and they drop armor. So it's got this gun. You just grapple them in the face, go right up to them, point blank, say hello, and just blow them away. It's glorious. It's my favourite gun in any first-person shooter. So yeah, that's my pick. If I only have one gun on a desert island, which firstly I wonder why I'm on a desert island
with a gun.
With a gun, but I don't know where I'm going with that. That's it.
Well,
maybe that's just my retirement plan. Just go to a desert island with a shotgun.
Go to an island with a gun, just with one bullet.
Just being a grumpy old man going, no. That's my retirement plan.
Well, unless there's anything more, but I think we've said enough. That's a lot of our favourite video game weapons.
We didn't get into like the Fallout weapons like Fat Man or
oh my god,
Resident Evil's rocket launcher or there's so many out there.
Be here for hours.
The golden gun from 007.
No, slaps only, mate. Slaps only. That's where it's at. I want to mention two more, and only because I asked on chat what were some of their favourite weapons. So these were a couple of suggestions. Somebody said they really like the diamond pickaxe from Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
but I've never used it. Yeah, I've never used it, so I can't confirm.
Nah, it's all about netherite. It's the tier above diamond.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's an actual tier above diamond. It's netherite, so you need to go to the nether to... Basically, you get your diamond pickaxe and you stick a netherite bar on it and it turns it into the netherite pickaxe. The diamond pickaxe is iconic, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. Netherite's the best.
I've not played Minecraft since I died, so...
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
I got into my boat and then a zombie got into my boat and I couldn't get out of the boat and then the zombie killed me and I've not played it since.
Yeah. Well, the other quick mention, which I'm surprised none of us picked because it's so simple, and that's just straight up a car. Just running someone over. Just like any car from any game. Just run someone over. Have a slide into.
Yeah, I guess.
Or Carmageddon or something like that. It's like, oh, yeah, fair play. Like Grand Theft Auto, just brum. That's it.
If we're about cars in GTA, I'm pretty certain people have not encountered the swings in GTA 4. You can put as many cars as you want into those swings. The swings win. The amount of times I've just watched compilations of people just parking a car on these swings and just to see how far the car goes flying. It's just so entertaining.
You know what else we've managed to avoid? We didn't pick a single item from Smash Bros.
I'm not too keen on any of the weapons, really. They're just weapons, isn't it?
Oh,
they're just swords, isn't it?
That's the topic.
All right, I'll pick one. The fan from Melee, because everyone hated me when the fan was there. I'd be like, fan, they'd be like, no, you're not getting that fan. I'm like, yeah, I am. And then I'll just get close to them, just keep pressing A constantly, and they just wouldn't get away, and it'd be like, 100%, bam, you're dead. That's literally what I would do.
I'll just go with the straightforward baseball bat.
Yeah.
Because if you get the timing right and like one shot them, it's like it's so satisfying.
Or the lipstick where you
that's
have
good.
the flower on your head.
Mm.
Or the beam sword, or everyone just called a lightsaber.
I suppose always play Link with the beam sword just so I can brag I've got 2 swords.
Alright, calm down.
and of course you got the Pokeball as well.
Pokeball from original Super Smash Bros. I used to play a game where I'd just spawn in like a load of Pokeballs and just basically just try and guess what comes out.
Oh yeah, we all did that at one point.
Or what I'd do is I'd spawn in a crap load of the bombs on top of each other and just detonate them for absolute carnage. That's fun.
Yeah, there's just so many, aren't there? There's so fucking many. But yeah, I think we've listed some really good ones here. But what I want to see is, like I say, when this episode goes live, we want to hear what your favourite weapons are. You can post about it on our new Twitter page at @victory_podcast. Yes, go there. Did I plug that enough?
Indeed.
Yeah, but don't forget to also make sure to like us on Facebook if you haven't done so as well. Follow myself and Chris on Twitch as well, because we also talk shit on there as well. If you don't get enough of us talking shit on the podcast.
Yep. And Instagram, of course.
And Instagram, of course, which we do post very regularly on Instagram. Well, you guys don't. I mean, you guys do. I don't.
I don't. I do the Facebook and Twitter.
I mainly have Twitter just to follow hot women. I mean, never mind. I mainly got Twitter initially to follow YouTubers who didn't use Instagram or Facebook, but now it's just turned into what hot women are going to follow this time. But on Twitter they go one step further. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't really use any social medias. I'm just a boring boomer. I don't know.
All right, boomer. Okay, boomer.
Yeah. Oh yes, and also we promised to do something on YouTube eventually.
Yes, I need to get to that because I still don't exactly know what I'm probably going to do. It's hard to obviously because originally I had the idea to take like clips from the podcast and just turn them into like shorts or whatever. But it's just trying to think: is it entertaining just having like I don't know. I need to sort of figure out how to make it more appealing. So like how to edit it and do whatever. I mean, I've got like a rough idea of what to do, but again, it's not until obviously whenever we get around to it, it's just like get together, having like a food and a drink, and just having a proper discussion on what to do.
Well, I won't read too much about it because no matter what, the more you do it, the better you'll get. So it's naturally going to happen. So I wouldn't overthink it. Just, any exposure is good exposure.
Funny enough, when I did that, I overexposed myself to some people. Like the police got phoned.
Yeah, well, that's enough about Download Festival. It all comes full circle, you see.
That's what I said, and I still got arrested. Kidding.
So how much for your bail? Brandon's calling us from Wormwood Scrubs, by the way.
So is that it?
Yeah, bye everyone, I guess.
Yeah, bye.
All right, fucking hell. Yeah.
29 episodes, and we still not worked out how to do an outro yet.
No, not really. I don't think many. I think it's always the pain of trying to end the episode. I think many podcasts still struggle.
We never want it to end. We can just keep chatting.
Yeah, just follow us on socials. Enjoy us. Give a like on Spotify. Like all the social medias. Get involved. Post questions on the social medias because we do. If we ever get a question, we do answer it on the subsequent episode of the podcast.
Yes,
we'd like to get as much viewer engagement as possible.
We are starved for attention. Please give us something.
I found the podcast on Twitter.
Yeah, it was wedged in between two posts of hot ladies.
No, I literally typed, couldn't find it, and then I found it. There you go. Have a great 2 weeks, and you're here is another 2 for episode 30.
Hey.
30?
I hope you're ready for some One Piece talk.
No.
Are you going to get another pirate quiz?
No. Wano ends this week. Of time recording. Wano ends this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we never mentioned eggs from Billy hatching the giant's egg as a weapon. Egg!
You just had to.
Yes, I did.
Right, bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye.